minute, now it's going slow. All right, now we're live. We are
Hey,
live.
There it is.
there
All
it
right.
is.
How is everybody doing today? We've got a
Doing good here.
yeah, we got a surprise live action reaction video with Alyssa, maybe the MVP of the anime year in review video from last year. We've got Mazer, Alter, Drew Guns, who are part of the Anyday anime Twitch show, who had me on their show. Was that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we talked about the summer anime of the season, and we threw some hot takes out, and I want to do a hot take video anyway while I work on this Bakugo video. So how's everybody doing today?
Here on my side of things, I'm doing great. I've been hyped for this video for a while, and I'm ready.
Yeah. How about you, Drew?
Hey man, I'm solid. Just got done with a really good workout. Came home to some brand new anime merch that I got on right now, and excited to eat some dinner and then get on the game and play some.
Absolutely. Alyssa, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm not gonna lie, I procrastinated, but I am ready now.
We talked about this a week ago.
I know, and I just met up with Jake last night, and I was like, "Hey, still don't know what I'm doing."
Oh God.
But we're there now, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. So obviously we're getting some hot takes off today, as the title video says, and Drew has to eat dinner, so we're gonna get Drew's hot takes off first, and then I'm gonna see you guys for your Twitch show right after this.
Yep.
For Anyday Anime on Twitch, check them out. I love it. Just more anime, especially from people who watch a ton more than me. So always nice to recommend new anime.
Hold on now. Watch more than you. Calm down with all that. Calm down with all that.
What are we doing here? All right. Let's start with Drew. When Drew is ready.
You are up.
All right. So
what you got?
I guess my hot take for the day isn't so much about anime, but it's about an anime audience in particular. Okay. And this shot is something that I'm gonna fire at Naruto elitists. All right. So yeah. So this is gonna be a little bit spicy, more to kind of like the gen pop of like anime fans.
Okay.
But so much that I see is like I'll scroll through TikToks, myself being a very avid TikToker with my videos and stuff like that. I'll scroll through, and very, very often, obviously, my feed is going to be nothing but video games and anime. That's all it is, all it ever is. And constantly, I'll see other people trying to do what Jake himself does and do some kind of like talk show or a little podcast or something like that. And the only thing they talk about isn't even the big three. The only thing they talk about is Naruto, and like the only other time they'll mention somebody else, it's Goku when it comes to powers. So people that really just take off with, yes, we understand Naruto is one of the greatest, and it always will be. Nothing's ever going to take that away. But I feel like there's so many people that deem themselves like anime gurus and anime wizards just because they can quote every scene from Naruto. And I really think that kind of opinion needs to kind of dial back a little bit, especially with so many of us that grew up with it. I know you mentioned that you were more into the pandemic and stuff, but you yourself have already proven without the shadow of a doubt, you've expanded your universe so much. But I'm talking about the people that only watch Naruto, and they've only started watching Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer because they have a realm of popularity. But if you asked one of these people if they'd seen, the old school Rurouni Kenshin or Full Metal before it became Brotherhood, or any of the Gundam series or anything like that, they'd be absolutely dumbfounded. They would have no idea what you're talking about. They don't even know about the goat that Berserk is or anything. They just hallow Dragon Ball Super, Naruto, and in the recent times, JJK and Demon Slayer. Now, rightfully so, the shows deserve it. But I think those people need to kind of humble themselves with making like anime talk shows and shit like that, when really the only thing that you know is Naruto. And I think it's a little conceited to consider yourself some kind of guru if Naruto is all you can quote.
Yeah, the shonen fanboys, I'm going to add to what you got here. So the shonen fanboys, I have nothing against them, right? But at the same time, they stick to what they know, and that is the shonen protagonist, so Naruto, right? Meanwhile, they're not even necessarily looking at shows that have better character development and all that, just because the show is not designed in a way that they're familiar with. A good example of that is going to be Classroom of the Elite, which is
great.
an incredibly complex show. It caught me off guard. Like, it was phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But the people that are into like Naruto and stuff like that, they're not going to even give it the time of day, because it doesn't follow you have the protagonist who's got powers, but maybe they're not real strong at first, but they become strong later through hard work and friendship, and they're always over adversities. Yeah, like that's very popular, especially with the younger crowd. So it's weird when you meet somebody who's an adult and they still are on that. And I'm like, yo, it's 2023, my guy. Like, it's time to go ahead and stretch out a little bit.
Absolutely.
Well, and the same guys, they're like, oh, well, you don't know Naruto like I do. You haven't been an anime fan for as long as I have. And think that just because they've been watching anime ever since Naruto came out, that they're like the gods of anime and want to gatekeep anime because of it.
Yeah. So
and I mean, what I meant by that too, also, is that exactly like Alyssa just said, is it's not so much that they want to gatekeep it or anything, but like I said, they hallow themselves as these like, oh, I'm the all-knowing when it comes to anime, and it's like, okay, tell me anything outside of the Pain arc. And they're like, I don't know. Hey, man.
I haven't watched a single full episode of Naruto anymore.
Yeah, like, hey, man, what kind of merchandise do you have? Oh, well, I have an Akatsuki cloud. Yeah, you and everybody else, bro. What else do you have? Oh, I have a Naruto Funko. Okay, you and everybody else. What else do you have? They're like, well, I have a Hidden Leaf headband. That's great, man. Do you have anything else? Like, they have nothing, and Naruto is all they have. Again, not to take away from Naruto, because I love it. I'm a huge Itachi fanboy. Jake knows my hot take about that, and he can sit there and be wrong if he wants. But
I'm wrong. That should have been the hot take that you took.
But
you are taking the words of somebody who is clearly drunk.
I think it's
just tripping balls when he said it, like, because it makes no sense.
Naruto rightly deserves its flowers, but I don't think that specifically Naruto, not even shonen, because I love shonen, but specifically Naruto fanboys should not get their flowers until they kind of expand their horizons a little bit and grow a little bit. And especially, like I said, those are the kind of people that come up to kids, when we were kids, we had stacks of manga books and stuff like that. Like, dude, when I was like 11 years old, I used to fucking carry around my original Full Metal manga with me, like around at school, and I'd get made fun of and stuff. I was like, okay, I guess it's not, and now all of a sudden it's super cool. And I mean, thankfully for me in the bodybuilding and gym world, that like anime kind of melded for some reason, whatever.
You're always watching those shows. The training arc is what get you. You can't hate on it when you're watching. Anybody who's seen Asta train, like, okay, he definitely is in the gym.
We just started.
That's how anime and the gym culture merged, is because all these shows have these insane training arcs, and the dudes that grew up in it with it and they were nerdy, they were like, nah, I'm gonna surpass my limits, and now they're buff, and people are like, wait, you like anime? Like, go to any military base. There's anime weebs as far as the eye can see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and myself, I mean, well, I'm a little bit disheartened. There's only like one person at my unit that likes anime, which is kind of a little disheartening. But people ask me, like, there's a guy that works in the parts room, and he's like, he just finished Demon Slayer, and he's like, oh, I'm thinking about starting Attack on Titan, and like, I'm giving this dude like all the juice. Like, I have him so hyped up on this right now, on that, and like stuff like Tokyo Ghoul and stuff. Like, bro, like you're not ready for this.
Ready for the
so it's cool. I love how popular.
I don't think he's ready.
I love how popular anime is getting. Don't get me wrong, and I love it that I can talk about something that I've been so passionate about for so long. But at the same time, I don't want people to, we were never cool because we liked anime. You know, we were kind of made fun of and shunned and like, oh, you're a dork. You read anime and stuff. But now it's like, I watch anime, bro. And it's like, like you guys need to kind of like chill out a little bit. You know what I mean?
This sounds like get off my lawn or back in my day kind of thing now, man.
Well, it does. No, you're not wrong. And like I said, and it's no shade to the people, you know, maybe like yourself that's a little bit newer, but you have some tenure behind you. You know, you've been into it for a couple of years and stuff. And I love that people expand their horizons and want to watch more and learn more and have such intelligent takes such as yourself. Because I mean, dude, I've listened to all the things you had to say about all the shows that you've talked about, and you have a really 360 view of the shows that you do talk about and the characters that you talk about. I really enjoy hearing specifically your in-depth analysis of certain characters is really enjoyable. I'm more directing this at people that don't have they don't even have a 2D version of these characters. They're like, Shinra Tensei, look at me, I'm a nerd. And it's like, nah.
I'm like, you're a nerd. Name one person that Sasuke beat that wasn't already sick or dying. Oh, wait.
But all right, that's gonna do it for me and my hot takes. I know I'm a spicy human being. But for those tuned in, I will be on Anyday Anime tonight. But I have to eat this delicious chicken sandwich that my girlfriend made me, and I have to go shower because I smell like the inside of somebody else's ass. But I will be on that show later tonight. Jake, I'm sure you're going to plug that just fine. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm DrewGuns13. You can find me on Twitch at DrewGuns13. Also, find me on TikTok, DrewGuns13 Gaming. I make funny stuff. I just dropped a new one that hit 750 views in less than 24 hours. So if you guys want to laugh, go check that stuff out. And that'll do it for me for this. But thank you so much for having me on, bro. I appreciate it. And I'll
have more time next time.
Yeah, man. And if you tune into Jake later, obviously I'll be there. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.
Love you, man. Take care.
Man.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Alyssa.
Go ahead, Alyssa.
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your take?
Is it me?
Yep, we're passing it on to you.
Which one am I gonna do?
If you need a second,
hi,
one of us
baby.
can take it.
No, man. Actually, okay. One of you go first. One of you go first because anxiety.
Nope, 100%. I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm ready. So the hot take that I have is also directed towards anime audiences. So me and Grim Zenta, we were talking, and
shout out Grim.
Yep, shout out Grim. But my hot take is so you basically have two types of anime fans. You have the ones that want something that they can see as being like realistic. And then you have the ones that want the show to be more fantastical. And then you get this clash as to like what's considered a good show and what's considered a not good show, right? So you'll have the people that are arguing like, oh, Death Note is the top tier show. And then you'll have the people that are like, no, like Konosuba. Konosuba is a top tier show. And they just kind of clash. And the reason that this is my hot take is because I'm one of the latter. So like Reincarnated as a Slime, Konosuba, Reincarnated as a Sword on High Dive, which is an absolutely incredible show. And based on the name, you would think it has no business being as good as it is, but it is. Like Reincarnated as a Sword was incredible. It touched on a lot of like deep subjects. Mushoku Tensei, right? Touches on a lot of deep subjects, but it's still fantastical. You'll get people that hate on those shows.
I'm going to say it now. It's going to be the Goat Isekai. I said it.
Yo, I for the summer season, it is going to have a tough fight based on what I'm seeing. But all that being said, right? What my hot take is that these shows that you're watching, Death Note, things like that, where like they're very intense in certain parts and stuff like that. They're great. They're nice mind benders, and could something like that more likely happen than maybe in some other situations? Sure. Just because you can kind of see those types of things happening and, more realistic version than like somebody with like magic powers that's a slime and stuff like that. But that also means that your imagination is limited and that you probably had a childhood where you were forced to do like a lot of playing sports and things like that, and like your imagination from an early age was kind of like blocked off by your upbringing, and that's why there's these other shows that you don't appreciate and you see as childish. It more than anything else, it's just because you as a person don't have the imaginative expression and range to be able to appreciate those shows for what they are.
I can kind of see where you're coming from with that. I can say for me, maybe because I think the one lesson I've learned with anime is just like, don't judge a book by its cover, man. Just don't do it. Because like you said, Reincarnated as a Sword, which I started reading the manga for, and then the anime came out. Was at that point, especially, we talked about isekais before, where like isekais above everything else, but above the power fantasy, above all the OP stuff you could get, it's like it's just a chance for someone to be creative, to be as creative as they can. And anime, I think anime just lets you like. I think anime does a really good job of making you like open up your mind a lot, especially because I don't know anybody who watches like you watch Mushoku Tensei and then people get mad because maybe there's not enough action. I'm like, just pay attention. Like this is gonna hit you just as hard as whatever show that you watch on, like whatever live action show you watch is gonna hit you. I don't know anybody who didn't watch Vinland Saga, for example, which is the entire thing was we're just watching this. We're watching a kid basically who's been fighting most of his life, pick himself back up again to I don't know to at least want to see what's ahead for him in life. He was just kind of living, and then I thought Vinland Saga was at least second season was fantastic because of just how character focused it was. It was so great that I'm just like, oh my god, like give yourself a chance. Yeah, we just lost Alyssa, but she'll probably be coming back.
Yep.
But I think that's all I'm saying is like if you give anime a chance, I promise you'll find there's so much out there. You'll find something for you, and it just be basically just walk into it with an open mind. Don't hurt yourself. Don't just stick to shonens because you're so used to like you're so used to watching Michael Bay movies and explosions. Like go watch a Horimiya or go watch a Kaguya-sama or go watch a Konosuba, which I just started. Which is weird. Like out of all these guys that I've watched Konosuba, I'm watching it now, and I'm like, every time I'm like, are you serious? And then I just start laughing because it's like, yeah, we're just about to fuck around for a season, basically. And then all of a sudden when you're so used to that fucking around, you get hit with that boom, that touching scene, and I'm like, oh my god, like it's anime can be as great as you want it to be, but if you don't walk into it with open mind, you're seriously hurting yourself.
It's not even just people who like are solely into one genre, but even people who don't like anime at all. It's kind of the same thing. Like I feel like Drew was talking about earlier. They make fun of people who like anime, but they don't have that creative mindset to be able to appreciate it. And with the people who are just all about shonen, I would like stuff that's not shonen to come out more. I am getting a tiny bit tired of shonen anime coming out all of the time.
Right. Sorry about that. My dog's been going crazy. I had to have him leave.
Well, I mean, we already know that the shonens are a moneymaker, right? They're the moneymaker, right? But there's still a chance to watch. There's still, I think there's enough to watch like a Violet Evergarden or the movie I just watched the other day on Netflix called, was it The Garden of Our Words? The Garden of Words, which was, oh my god. And like an hour and a half, I was gripped. Not even an hour. It was like 45 minutes, I think. It was like 45 minutes. Whatever, The Garden of Words. Either way, the animation was great. The story was great. And just when you think it's going to take that anime turn, like, because it seems like every anime just got to have something, they're like, nah. Like, we're dead in this right now. And maybe, at least for me, I'm looking for more character-driven stuff now. Like, obviously, I've only been in the game for 3 years, but I'm looking for more character-driven stuff. So I've been like really, I guess you can say, bougie with my anime choices. That's why I'm willing to give almost anything a chance, but the minute you lose me, I'm out. That's why like, when I see something that's like, as probably as dumb on the surface as like the Eminence and Shadow looks, like it's not a, it's just like, okay, you got the one fuck in Sid, right? Because Sid's just doing his own thing. But you tell me you didn't watch Princess Alexia grow during the season.
Oh,
You tell me you wasn't struggling with Princess Rosa Oriana when she was struggling, or Alpha or Alpha in the Seven Shadows when they're just like basically like just gobbling everything Sid does, and that's just what anime can do, and you just don't get that, especially in America. You just don't get that. Like the one show that's really gripped me that hasn't been around is like the Lincoln Lawyer. But how many times have we seen those lawyer type shows just fail? But the Lincoln Lawyer is fantastic. It's really good. If you guys, the minute you guys stop watching anime, you need to watch something on Netflix. Go watch the Lincoln Lawyer. The Lincoln Lawyer is great. But I'm just thinking about all the shows I had to like watch to get to the Lincoln Lawyer. And it always seems like with anime, right when you think you're good, there's like check this shit, check this shit. They're just throwing. They always have something ready for you. They always do. And
yeah.
maybe
Are you talking about Kotaro?
what do you mean?
Are you talking about Kotaro Lives Alone on Netflix? Is that what you were talking about, or is
No, I was talking. Well, Kotaro Leaves Alone is great as well. I'm waiting for that second season. Netflix, I need to hurry up with that. But I was talking about the Lincoln Lawyer, like the live action one.
Oh, okay,
It's like a lawyer show on Netflix. But
gotcha.
you could also watch like Kotaro Lives Alone was great. I think I made
It's a little on the sad side.
Yeah, I made
It is so sad.
Absolutely.
I cried so much.
Because it's like, hey, you've all seen shows like this, but then like the minute it just starts getting real, and then every episode after that, I'm just like, I have this dread every chapter, because like, ain't no way no little boy should be going through what Coda was doing. Okay, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy, and like everybody, almost everybody that he interacts with matters. From like the lawyer that brings money to him every week, to his neighbor who's basically his dad, to his other neighbor who's like that weird older brother, the gangster, the former gangster. He's like the weird older brother. You have, and then you have the lady who used to live with them too, but she was like domestic violence, so she had to leave. And I'm like, no. I get why she left. But I'm like, well, first of all, I wanted her to get with like the other guy, but also at the same time, I'm like, this stuff is important, and it's like you have to pay attention, because, especially the fact that Kotaro knows the signs, which is heartbreaking that a 6-year-old boy knows the signs.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my god, man, it freaking hurt me. Oh, Kotaro Lives Alone. Oh, how about The Way of the House Husband?
Yep, Way of the House Husband is also incredible.
Oh my god, The Way of the House Husband. Like, there's always another. Anytime somebody tells me I don't watch anime, I'm like, what do you watch normally? And then I can just like, watch this. And come back, bet money you'll enjoy it.
I still haven't finished that one, but I do like it a lot. And actually, the voice actor is my very favorite voice actor. That's why I started watching it in the first place.
Which one? The Way of the House Husband?
Yeah.
Oh, you can finish it. Those I think those are like little mini episodes, right? Like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a good you can knock all that out in like half an hour. Just you and your husband and your family. You can love them. My favorite is when they're going into the supermarket and he's trying to find flour, but the lady thinks he's talking about something else.
Yep.
He's like, "We don't sell that here." And then his wife is like, "Whoa, that's not what we're talking about. We just want some flour. Oh,
yeah, I like when he tries to buy his wife a gift and she already has it, and then he tries to commit seppuku, and they're like, "No, like it ain't that deep."
Did they ever say how they met?
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, because I just want to know what happened at this point, because I'm like, they're great together. They're so great together. She knows exactly how he works. Obviously, he knows how she works. They're just great together. But I can throw mine out if you guys are ready.
Yeah, send it.
All right. Maybe this I think this is mainly recency bias, but I think Black Clover is better than My Hero Academia.
Oh, 100%.
We were just talking about this.
I think it is.
100%.
We literally just talked about this last
night. Asta is by far a better protagonist than Deku will ever be.
Ooh, really?
Yes. No ifs, ands, or buts. 100%.
I mentioned this.
I feel like hating Deku might even be a hot take in itself, but I hate him. I really.
I feel like
Asta all the way.
I feel like a lot of people don't like Deku because we've seen Deku in so many other shows. Like,
Yeah.
and I even mentioned that like afterwards, after like on Saitama, in the Eminence and Shadow video, where I was like, after One Punch Man came out, you just saw like the Shonen MCs change. We have a really good list right now of like new MCs, Shonen MCs, with obviously Saitama. You have Yuji
Goji.
Yuji from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yep.
You have Denji from Chainsaw Man. Which,
Denji,
by the way,
that's what I was
that
trying to
last
think of.
manga chapter for Chainsaw Man was wild. Oh my god, it was wild. But I mean, there's a few more I could list, but you're just seeing like I think that the anime industry is starting to understand we can't just get like, oh, I'll just forgive you to forgive you type stuff anymore, man. Like, nah, these people are real.
Well, like Ari Fuerte, that's a perfect example of that. Like he ain't forgiving nobody for nothing.
Bro, who did he fight? And then he like, oh, he knocked her to the ground, and then she's like, no, if you let me live. He's like, nah. Immediately just put 3 in her and let's keep it moving.
Well, and like he even ran into like his teacher and his classmates, and he's like, "Yo, y'all can catch this shit too. All right, be gone."
Yeah, the only problem like Ari Fuerte, I'm like, I need y'all to commit. Either y'all gonna go full computer because it reminds me of those old was it Looney Tunes cartoons where they're like everything's fine, and then when you just see Wile E. Coyote is about to pick up this rock to throw at Roadrunner. But for Ari Fuerte, it's like right when the action scenes start, they just bring CGI, and I think it's terrible. It's terrible in my opinion. That's the one thing that holds it back from being, because it is an edgier show because of the main character. And sure, there's a harm, but there's a clear number one, and the other ones are just kind of there because they just kind of have to be there.
Yeah.
But I think that's what, and especially with its fights, because and then you had time to knock this out, but I still thought, I'm like, this is bad, especially for a show that I've gone to really enjoy. But let's go back to, was it My Hero Academia and Black Clover, or AKA Peak Clover, as people are calling it now, because
you said what Clover?
Peak Clover.
Peak.
Like if you've been keeping up with the manga, it's like every single week, except ironically, Black Clover's on break next week. Black Clover has been throwing bombs, like bomb chapter after bomb chapter after bomb chapter, because it's in the final saga of the series, like My Hero Academia is. And for those spoilers, Asa just came back, and your boy is not playing around. Oh my God! The only problem with Black Clover is that I think they have too many characters, so a lot of characters. Now it's like, oh, I guess I gotta. But that's also a problem with My Hero Academia. Like I mentioned, like Mineta. Why is Mineta there? Get Mineta out of there. Nothing would change if Mineta was there.
God. Yep. Mineta.
And he's just there because you needed like that one anime thing for the show. Like you needed a perv, so Mineta was the perv. So like for me, when I say that, maybe because also I just mainlined My Hero Academia, like a better protagonist, a better final villain with Lucius Socrates for Black Clover compared to All for One, and even a better mentor character with Yami compared to All Might. What else? Better supporting cast for Asta. The only thing is, ironically, I hate Yuno and Black Clover almost as much as I hate Bakugo, but for different reasons. Every time we see Yuno, he just powered up. You know what? At least we see Bakugo struggle. You don't just be getting all these off-camera power-ups because Asta got too strong, and the author, I believe his name is Tabata, is his last name. It's like he has to like, oh, I made Asta this strong. I'm just gonna make Yuno that strong. I'm like, nah, let me see Yuno in the struggle, because any Black Clover fan I'll argue with them, like, he just gets him because of a plot device. We don't see him struggle. We do not see him struggle that much at all, not compared to Bakugo. But I hate both of them almost equally. I might even make a slanderous Yuno video one of these days.
Yuno's that guy in school that had everything handed to him that all the unpopular kids like myself hated because like they were popular for really no reason. He is the Kardashians, okay? He is popular and famous really for just being alive. Now, that being said, is he talented? Is he powerful? Yes, he is. Mm-hmm. But like everybody was jumping on him from the start before he even showed what he had to offer. Whereas,
also, why was he such a dick to Asta in the beginning? Like, okay, bro, we was watching you cry when you was a kid, and then I guess because there needs to be a tsundere in the story, he had to be it. I'm like, nah, bro, you just treated him like shit for a while. Like, and you're just lucky, like, Asa is just, Asa has a little bit of that, I'll forgive you in the beginning, but then after that, he's like, nah, don't, if you disrespect me or the Black Bulls, it's on sight. He does not care. But in the beginning, I was a little worried about him, but now, I mean, and a lot of people are saying this might be the prequel because because of what they've shown of the world, because obviously they went to the Hino country, which is basically Japan in that world.
Yep.
And then we know about elves. They're asking about what about other fantastic creatures, like Charmy's a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
But now people are asking, like, is he can't introduce dwarves now, right? Because it's too late in the story to introduce a whole new race. And also Charmy, maybe the most powerful person in Black Clover in terms of her ability.
Well, she can actually improve your magical, she can replenish your magic. Like that's
I'd be like, yo,
insane.
Charmy, just keep cooking food, bro. Just keep cooking food. Like, her ability is busted as fuck.
Yeah.
Busted as fuck.
Like, she loves eating, and her sheep create food that restore your magic. Like, she's basically got an unlimited supply of magic.
Yeah, she's basically like the best version of Aerie. and the author of Black Clover knows how to use her just enough, because she even gets a big scene, and not this chapter just came out, the last chapter, where she souls a couple of angels, and I'm like, okay, but then they know, like, we can't have her, like, because then if she starts solving all the problems, why do we need Asta? But it doesn't know how to use her just enough. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, what are they gonna do with Aerie when they get to Aerie? How are they gonna use it? Because I'm sitting there like, why hasn't Aerie just rewinded All Might already? Well, realistically, think about it. Why hasn't? So what? All Might and Deku share the power. All Might does is just punch. He doesn't use any of the other quirks. That's what I'm saying. Like, I ask my question every time I read a chapter. I'm like, why isn't Aerie just rewinded All Might? She found a way to rewind Lemillion. Maybe I get it. She can't rewind him all the way back to his prime. So maybe she rewinds him like a little bit. But, like, come on, what are we doing here? And Aerie's always that problem.
I think Lemillion's the best thing that ever happened to My Hero Academia. He's an incredible character. He is my number one, for sure. But that being said, the person that's supposed to be number one, right? Deku. He's a huge crybaby, basically the entire show. And it would be different if he kind of grew out of it, because that would show, like, that he's emotionally growing and changing along with everything. But I mean, really, all the way through, like, his attitude changes, but like his emotional instability stays. And it's that emotional instability that I don't like about him.
Well, and they try to take, like, in the most recent season, they're taking the dark Deku and I feel like they're trying to give him more character development with that arc, and it just seems like they're trying too hard to make him, like, edgy and dark, and it doesn't fit. Like, he still just seems like crybaby Deku, just in a crappy uniform.
Yeah,
I understand why they did, because at some point Deku did need to be by himself regarding once the truth about One for All comes out.
Yep.
But you're right. I think you try to shoehorn a lot of character progression. I'm not even gonna say development, because I'm not gonna say development. I'm gonna say progression. You try to shoehorn it all in one arc, but realistically, you should have been going through that a lot, because a lot of people, like you said, a lot of people call him a crybaby. A lot of people cookie cutter because he just forgives. But I think I mentioned this to you in the beginning. Like, Bakugo and Deku should hate each other at the start of the show. Absolutely hate each other. I mean, if I'm Deku, I would be like I told you with the video. I ended up writing basically like a damn near fan fiction of how I would have done it, and I'm just some dude on the street, right? And I'm like, I also feel like at some point, because Horikoshi, the author of My Hero Academia, his health was messing up, his maybe studio interference, because he's come out and said this is not the version of My Hero he wanted to tell. So I'm wondering how much of that, because at some point, man, like as much as Bago, especially getting the story when Bago just kept trying him, I'm like, you know what, bro, square up, let's go, And I think because the fact that Deku, if you really think about it, Deku has never beaten Bakugo at all, never, not at all. When I'm sorry, in that fight in season 3, Deku should have beat his ass.
Like we
But
saw that
no,
fight
he
with
just
Todoroki. Like Deku should have put his hands all over Bakugo.
should have beat his ass. And the one time, even then, when they fought in season 3, I forget the manga chapter, after All Might officially retires, and it's really just because Bakugo needed to like accept the fact that he was the reason All Might retired. Yes, you were, because you were told, hey, they're coming after you, and you just start messing around. So I don't understand like what the problem was. How could you mess up that dynamic with a bully and a bully? Like you can say a lot of things about Dragon Ball Z, but the character relationship between Goku and Vegeta is one of the best things about the show. Like you can tell they hate each other at first, but Goku was the one to reach out and say, hey man, you can be different. But Goku even then was still like, we can square up again, bro, if you're ready. But he still put the hand out, right? In My Hero's case, it should have been the opposite way around, where Deku hates him so much that Bakugo's the one to finally reach out the hand. And I guess you can say that with his apology, but his apology is completely, while it's a great apology, the apology is built on nothing, in my opinion, because he's never even had to pay for the fact that he bullied Deku to the point of telling Deku to kill himself. Oh God, I'm basically at this point. It feels like I'm just reading my script for the Bakugo video.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, oh,
that's what it feels like. I don't understand how you can just do like that. That stuff matters. When Yuji lost his friend, what was his name in the first season, and they end up like, and that shit fucked with him for a while, right? After the main guy, like his first rival, kills him, and then they basically jump him when he does his domain expansion. Yuji busts in and they find him, but that stuff mattered for a while for Yuji. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. You're especially shonens. You always do like they're bad because they're the worst, and then they get better, right? You need to show that while they're the worst, like they still have more things to worry about. Naruto swinging on that swing forever. I'm not like, I know about that. That stuff mattered to him. It mattered that he needed somebody to be like, no, bro, you're good. And the fact that everybody just hated him because, I don't know, man, he grew up with nobody. He had to drink spoiled milk. Like the only person, even Kakashi couldn't come out and be, hey, I got you. He had to do it in secret, which is dumb. Which is so dumb. That's what I'm never.
The Hokage is supposed to be taking care of Naruto, and he doesn't do dick.
The fact that okay, because I only know this because I argue with my boy all the time about this. The fact that he dies with a smile when he did nothing, nothing to help him. He let him get treated that way, which is bullshit. Because
the third Hokage is straight up dog shit.
I don't understand how you just let that, especially when somebody who is that vitally. I get you don't have to like glaze him, bro, but he's that vitally important to your village because of what he keeps inside him. But you let him just get treated like shit. If the ramen dude decided not to, if he decided to take his talents to like the Sand Village and be the ramen guy there, the Hidden Leaf Village is fucked. Basically.
Yep. If that happens, Naruto joins the Akatsuki and everybody's in a bad spot.
He should, realistically, Naruto should be the villain of the story.
Yeah.
He should be the villain of the story. and
I agree 100%.
A good enough reason why that doesn't have to do with the ramen guy and the teacher that eventually and even he was talking shit.
You're talking about Iruka Sensei. Iruka Sensei and the ramen guy are 100% like the heroes of the village.
They're the ghosts of the show.
Yep.
Oh my God! Don't get me started. I swear, I'm never gonna watch that show. I just can't.
I have also not watched it. It just does not. I don't know. I don't think it seems appealing to me. And I feel like people hate me for that, but sorry, I don't watch Naruto.
So watching Naruto, I would say, is sort of the same as hating Nickelback. Like, it's the cool thing to do, but that doesn't mean that it's like right. Like you don't have to watch Naruto like just because other people tell you to. Like I watch Naruto, there are parts that I thoroughly enjoy. As a whole, I'll give the show like a C minus. Like, there's so much better stuff out there. Like you're not.
That makes me not want to watch it even more.
Yeah, like you're not missing anything. That being said, like I said, it's got moments, incredible moments. That's it. The show itself is not incredible. The moments that you get along the way are. But if you take all that and you put it together, yeah, the show's at best, like C minus.
All right.
Like passing, but it's not impressing nobody.
All right.
Back to your original point, though, about Black Clover being better. Yeah.
Can you fix your mic a little bit? Like you're like kind of staticky. I don't know if staticky is the right word, but try it again.
Can you hear me?
There we go. I can work with that. It's fine because this is all a test anyway. So yeah, this is what you got.
Okay. Is that better?
It's a little better, but I can work with it.
Try something. Hold the phone slightly further away from me. All right, now try it.
Hello?
No, that didn't help. Okay, that's fine.
Has it been like this the whole time?
No, it just started.
It just started.
Here, hold on.
See, that's why I just do the wired ones when I go live because I have a pair of.
Well, my phone doesn't have a plug-in for wired headphones. That's why I had to use these ones.
Most phones don't have no more, right? They took them out.
Yeah,
do what?
Like, if you have like an iPhone, you can get like an adapter, but like
it's
kind of whatever.
For $50, please get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Here, give me 1 second. I'm gonna exit out and be right back.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
While we're here, in the meantime, I have a small take that it isn't as controversial, but it's something that I firmly believe in. And it's that some of the shows that have a lot of popularity behind them aren't good, but they just had a lot of like advertisement.
I mean, the perfect example of that is Sword Art Online. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Is it working better now?
It's way better.
Yes, it's way
okay.
better. Sword Art Online is a perfect example of that for me.
What I was just going to I felt like we were wrapping up with your statement, and I was just going to say, like, I do very much agree with your opinion on that, but I do think that it is a hot take because I think that My Hero Academia fans are fucking wild. Like,
well, I mean, they want. I learned a lot of them. I can't say that because I've perused the subreddit, and I know a lot of them are big. Like, they just want Bakugo and Deku to get together, and I'm like, I don't think you guys understand the you guys are more into this than me. Like, maybe it's just a meme or whatever, but like, these guys before anything romantic even happens, they got like, they're not even friends. Even now after college, they're not even like. You can even say they're friends, okay? Like Bakugo for most of his life has been treating Deku like shit and calling him out of his name. They call him out of his name. Like when I found out what Deku actually means, I'm like, oh my god, Deku. I don't even give him that much power by naming yourself. But I'd be like, I'm All Might's successor, bitch. Yeah. I want you to go home and think about it. I'm the one that All Might picked, not you. Not you. Square up then. Square up. You got a problem? Square up.
Big facts.
All right, but to go back to what your point, Jake. But to go back on what you said, Jake, I think Sword Art Online is the perfect thing. I will meet you. So the perfect example of that for you that you mentioned is Sword Art Online. I think if Sword Art Online came out today, I don't think a lot of people would vibe with it the way it is. It was kind of like the first. Which I know I'm not gonna say Isekai because you're obviously Isekai before Sword Art Online, but it's like the first maybe mainstream one in terms of anime. Because I mean, as much as I hate on the show looks great, animation's great. Like their fight scenes are great. The way you can tell that they definitely put their all in animating it. I think it's just the story itself. You can just tell at some points I'm like, the author doesn't know what he's doing. Like they should still be in Ironcrad going up the floors. Like the minute they left Ironcrad, it was over. It was over for them.
Actually, as kind of in this direction is one of the things that I had thought about talking about, but it Sword Art Online, like you said, it does look good, but the writing is honestly terrible, and Kirito is a horrible protagonist.
He just kind of he just gets Kirito, aka Plot Armor, aka girls just like him because they just like him, which is dumb. You need to build.
There's literally no reason.
Now, the saving grace that I will give Sword Art Online is that the Gun Gale Online arc made a lot of people fall off. Mm-hmm. And it was after Gun Gale when you get to Alicization and War of the Underworld. And that is by far the best part of the show. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's the best part of the show because the writers...
Like if they started there, I fuck with Sword Art Online. I like what they've done.
If they... Well, they had to put effort in. They're like, hey, we need to get these people back. And so they put genuine effort into the show and into the character development. And Alicization of War of the Underworld, like if I think of a scene from Sword Art Online's entire canon that like hits me in the feels and like makes me feel a certain way, every single time it's going to be a scene from Alicization.
That's true. The one that always gets me is when they do Alicization. It's like they fight the administrator, right?
Yep.
And then I know it's right at the end of the season, but Kirito gets hurt. And then for the first time, I was like, wait, what? I was like, what? What just happened? What just happened? And then I was like, I need season 4. I need season 4 now. Like, I've never felt that way before. Because even when Kirito, first of all, it's kind of dumb. They just hides his dual handling skill until he has to finally use it because it's unthinkable to think that he's the only one with that skill in the first season. There's tens of thousands of people playing. Somebody else just had to run into that skill to dual wield. Like it makes no sense. But like in Alicization, when he's down for the first time, I was like, it felt like real stakes. It felt like really real stakes, and that's why I'm saying like they should still be in Ironcrad, and maybe as they're getting closer to the top floor, Alicization is just. Alicization War and War in the Underworld is just one floor. Like that's why I'm saying like the minute they left Ironcrad, the show really lost a lot of what it made the show great. Yep. Sure, besides the terrible character writing and things like that, that hurt Sword Art Online a lot. They should have still been in there. Gun Gale should just be like a spinoff and that somebody else is playing, or maybe it's something that like we still can meet Shion, right? And maybe that's like we could get it like this is what Kirito does in the future when he's like an adult, and then he goes in because that's what he does because he never wants to what happened to in Sword Art Online to happen again. Because I've even watched one of the movies. I'm like, it's weird how much they're still into virtual reality or those VR systems after all that's happened.
Well, so from a medical standpoint, though, people react to traumas 2 different ways. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you will run the opposite direction, and sometimes you will try and run deeper into the trauma because, like, you feel like that's the exit. And
I guess I see what you're saying.
And that's just how different people deal with trauma. So in the sense that like he never leaves like the VR, like basically like realm in the sense of like that's still what he's into. Mm-hmm. Like I can see that as being realistic in the sense that like the same reason that like people that are in abusive relationships might keep going back to the abuser is because they think that maybe there's an exit on the other side of this abuse and there's not. But you can't just tell that person that and have them be like, oh, okay. And then just like take your word for it. Like they have to discover that at some point for themselves. And in the case of Sword Art Online, like he just never gets to that point. Like he just kind of just stays in and keeps getting into these bad situations, but never is like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be here. Because if he did, his life would be a lot easier, a lot more laid back.
Yeah, and that's what hurts the second season, Gun Gale, a lot. It's like he just came out. Was it Asuna is still kind of like they're still kind of recovering, and then the government's like, hey, we need your sin back in. That's why I'm like, if he's like a little bit older and he's saving, because obviously gun gale is for everybody. So just make the cast older. Maybe they're 21, 22 instead of 17 or 16 or whatever. Right? I will mute you, Alyssa. So just make them like 21, 22, and Kirito's like, I never want this to happen again, and then he becomes like the foremost expert on stopping these kind of things, right? And maybe if you want to make his harem part of his squad, right, so that they always have like they're always OP when they go into these things, but they still have to solve these problems. I'm all right with that, right? I'm all right with that. But I think that's just what hurt him a lot. I had one more thing. Also, they just straight up, Alice comes from the underworld, right? And she's able to slip away from custody and just pull up to Kirito's house when legitimately legitimate AI is now walking around you and they're just like not freaking out about it. Like I'd be losing my shit. Like if somehow Alice just pulled up, like, and she's now part of the world, she's walking around, she's like, hey, this is the place that I live. Like, why are we not talking about that more? Maybe when they do new seasons, if Sword Art Online is coming back, which is weird. I haven't heard any information about a sixth season or fifth season.
I don't know if they're going to or not, but we still need to get Jimenez's hot take.
That is true. We're still waiting. Yeah, we're still waiting for her. And then we gotta log off because I gotta be somewhere else. But I'm gonna be multitasking your show and doing what I'm doing.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
So Jimenez, you are up to the plate.
Okay, so mine was kind of, I guess it's kind of like multiple hot takes all in one. So out of all of the shonen anime, there's probably gonna be like, oh, here she goes again. Mob is the best shonen protagonist, period. And Mob Psycho 101, to me, is the best shonen anime, and the hand-drawn animation is so much better than all of the CGI in even Attack on Titan. Like, I know that Attack on Titan is animated great, but I do not find that as appealing as the hand-drawn animation in Mob. I think that the animation, I think that the art I think it gives a lot more emotion to the characters, and that just they're more unique. I feel like a lot of the CGI characters are all very similar looking. Like, I don't know how many freaking protagonists look exactly like Kirito.
I know there's a big thing. There's a huge meme about like especially the Isekai protagonist ones, like, and how they're all kind of mid looking, black hair.
Yep.
All of them ironically around the same height too. It's weird.
There's a video on a public service anime that talks about surviving an isekai, and one of the jokes that he makes is he has a picture of Kirito, and he's like, if you look like this guy, you're fine.
They do. They all look the same, and I feel like Mob is very different, and I feel like I mean, aside from the obvious like superpowers, his problems are relatable. Like, I don't relate to any other shonen character's problems, but like the problems are extremely relatable. The pacing, like we were just talking about how Sword Online's pacing is bad, but like the pacing in Mob Psycho is literally perfect.
I mean, it's a shonen. It's a character story disguised as a shonen.
Yeah,
I'm starting the second season now, Alyssa. I'm finally starting it. I had to take care of some stuff. Plus, I'm doing these. I had to rewatch a ton of Mushoku Tensei because last week I said some stuff about that last week's episode that I did not like, but it don't matter. But that's what I feel about Mob Psycho. Like, yeah, sure, it's amazing once like it's on side and people start throwing hands, but like it's a character driven story disguised as a shonen. Like you just get exposure because like, okay, it is a shonen, so let's just blow something up. Or let's destroy a few buildings and cause millions of dollars of property damage. But it's still like it's about Mob. Like the simplest way, at least for me, is like when as you watch Mob get better at soccer. And I'm like,
But even with like all the character development, he also will whoop someone's ass. Like it's not like it's because he's soft.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of character development. He gets like some emotional damage, but like still don't mess around with him because I mean, there are not very many shonen protagonists that I could think of that could even beat Mob. I mean, I think
if you beat Mob, you have to beat him early, right?
Yeah. If he hits 100, you're not.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
That's when you call in Demon Lord Rimuru and say, "Yo, clean this up."
Clean this up, please. Oh, by the way, was it season 3? Is it season 3?
Yeah.
Next year? Woo!
Yep.
Oh boy, I've been reading up. I'm all the way caught up on the manga. I started reading the light novel. I
love it. So one of my friends actually brought up something, and it's actually a good way to kind of wrap up a hot take session. You take the crew from take the crew from Reincarnated as a Slime. So Rimuru, Diablo, Veldora, all them. Take the crew from Overlord. Who's walking away?
Well, here's a hot take in itself. I didn't finish Overlord because I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's a hot take. I loved Overlord.
Good way to end the hot take session.
That's a whole nother episode right there. Oh, that's a whole nother live
But so personally, I think Rimuru
is your baby up. Look at you.
He's the baby.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, she had to eat, but she's good now. Oh, no, just kidding. No, she's not.
She doesn't look good. She said, no.
No, you didn't finish Overlord.
Yeah, my personal take on it is I think Rimuru's squad walks away, but not unscathed. I think that Ainz and his squad definitely give them a run for their money.
Is it weird that I think it's the opposite way? But I think Ainz, I'm telling you, maybe he walks back with like Demiurge. That's what he gets back. Because imagining Albedo and Shion just talking, let alone scrapping about how much they love their respective demon lords, would be incredible. Would be incredible television.
I would love that.
Kokaitis and what's the guy, Shuna's brother, what's his name? He's like Rimuru's second in command.
Yeah, the red-haired dude.
Benimaru. Benimaru.
Kokaitis and Benimaru just talking would be Kokaitis and Hakuro talking would be And then I just think also I think it's because if you do Tempest versus the Sorcerer Kingdom, I think the Sorcerer Kingdom has more people too to throw at them.
Well, they do, but then you got to keep in mind. So one of the things that I have to give to Overlord is that outside of watching Ainz and Shoutier fight, we haven't really seen anybody go all out. Everything's been kind of kept under wraps.
Okay,
So
who on Rimuru's side is beating Shoutier? Shoutier is the strongest.
I'm putting Diablo out there.
No, that's true.
Like, you have a primordial demon.
Yeah, who
also evolved when he got a name. Like, Shoutier's gonna have her hands full.
Oh no, I'm just pulling out all the premium items, bro. All
the world class items are coming out.
All the world class items are coming out. Now hold up. We need to reconvene on this. I don't want to give this. I do not want to. Right now, I'm leaning Overlord, but I need to check some numbers. Read the wiki because I'm seeing now. I can't think of anybody on Overlord side who can handle Diablo.
That's like Veldora alone is a handful. Diablo is going to be a problem.
And if we're just talking main cast too, oh my god. Oh my.
Yeah.
And when Veldora starts bringing out the Dragon Ball moves, because he's been reading.
I lost. Did you see my post on the Facebook group? I lost my mind. I was like, oh my god. I was like, because I was doing something else at the time, right? And I was like walking back. All I heard was, I was like, wait. And I was like, kind of hustling to the thing, and I caught him right when he's doing the Kamehameha. And I was like, oh my god, how much money did they have to pay Akira Toriyama for Veldora to do that? How could they just? Oh my god!
Whatever they paid, it was worth it.
It was 100%. Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. And then the worst part was Malim just tanked it and kept fighting, and I was like, Goku, you might be in trouble.
They're like, but can you beat Goku? And I'm like, I think she might. Yeah,
she might be able to. Oh, that's also because somehow they have to keep Malim out because Malim's trying to find out what's going on too. Yep. Oh my god.
There's so much to unpack with that.
Oh, we need to reconvene on this.
I'm down with that.
Next one. Who wins in a fight? Because ironically, we're talking like somehow the talks break down between Ainz and Rimuru because I think they would get along very well.
Oh yeah, they're like, hey, yo, you're from Japan, me too, bro. Like
realistically, I think it would be Albedo and Shion talking shit to each other, and then Ainz and Rimuru would just kind of like, you know what, get in the Coliseum and just fight it out. Yep. And then they'll just kind of chill and talk. And then Rimuru would be like, hey man, do you want some skin? Like that's tough, just being a skeleton all the time. You want I can help you out. Here's a potion. Here's a potion. Let's get the skin back. Like they would just be like Ainz and Rimuru. I think the problem is Rimuru could basically tank anything Ainz throws at him, right?
Yeah, because he has Devour.
Yeah, Beelzebub.
Or Beelzebub, yeah, because he evolves Devour when he becomes the Demon Lord.
Oh my god, I think you might be right.
I think it would be a tough fight. Like, ain't nobody walking away, with a perfect score.
Ironically, I think Albedo beats Shion though, because Albedo, she may be hot-headed, but she's smart still. The only reason Shion would walk away is because she's kind of immortal now.
I think that Shion losing to Albedo is when Rimuru is like, oh, like
this is real.
I'm playing for keeps.
I'm sorry. Do not let Demiurge anywhere near Shuna. Do not. Do not let anywhere near Shuna.
Who's I can't remember the old guy's name. The guy with the katana. Yeah. Hakura. Yo, Hakura and Demiurge, just in the sense of like their battle tactics and how smart they are, that would be insane.
That's what I think. I think Overlord is the smarter side, though. Overlord definitely has a smarter side.
I'm gonna say
Demiurge is a genius. He's a mastermind.
Well, he's analytical, but that doesn't mean that he's necessarily as powerful because we haven't seen Demiurge really flex. So like. That would be very interesting to see, to see him actually show out and be like, okay, so like I understand that you're one of the floor bosses, but like, can you handle this?
We got to come back. We got to come back to this. We got to come back to this. Your show. See what people think, because
that works for me, man.
I think in the beginning that I lean slime, but then we don't know what all their full capabilities are, and
see, to me, it kind of seems like a landslide to slime until I remember that they don't know what the Overlord cast is really capable of. And so, that's when I'm like, yo, you guys are walking into an unknown, and that's a dangerous thing.
Plus, and I mean, I know Ainz isn't like, the mastermind he's portrayed to be, but he knows how to play. No, he knows how to play Idrisil, and he knows the strengths and weaknesses of his people. So, oh my God, I'm gonna have to write some stuff down and come back. This is, woo boy.
Yep. I got to get going. I got my show starting here in a few minutes.
I'll be watching.
Thank you very, very much for having me on.
No problem. This was fun.
It was. And if anybody wants to drop in every Wednesday on Twitch, Mazer _Ultor, I do an anime show. Feel free to drop in.
Melissa, you got anything to plug?
Nope. Don't just I'm just here to help, as always.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Listen, we Dylan got to talk soon about what we got to do for this year's anime year in review. I got
It's
some
gonna be an
ideas.
insane year in
It's
review.
gonna be an insane year, man. Like I'll say this. My every season I have changed what my newcomer of the year is. Every single season. And this summer I've changed, and from looking
Oh
what I've
man.
seen, I've changed it twice. And I
That's
know
tough.
last year we had a lot of returns. This
Mhm.
year, I think to take out the returns, we had so many new anime come in that had been great that I'm like, I think we might have to double. I don't know if just lowering it down to one is a good idea, but we'll talk about that.
Whoever you
I
pick
gotta
as
tell you.
number one is going to be a hot take because of how good everything else is. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's a
gotta
lot.
skip out.
I think a lot of people are gonna say Eminence and Shadow because
Bye.
but,
Jake will say Eminence and Shadow.
yeah, I think a lot of people will say Eminence and Shadow, but I think a lot of people are gonna be surprised. The fact that it's given us 2 seasons, right? It's given us 2 seasons in 1 year, basically.
I have still not finished it. I am on episode 17, I think.
Oh, so so he's getting ready to fight in the big tournament in Linrun, where you
Yeah,
finally.
he's getting ready to fight the blue-haired chick.
Oh, Honor Rose. I
Mm-hmm.
like her. I like her. She didn't get enough screen time for me, but I assume because we're gonna see more of her later. So yeah, think about that, Alyssa. I'll figure out another time for all three of us to come back and talk about that. And also, let's see if we can get Drew guns on that too, because Overlord versus Reincarnated Slime and just a straight up battle, that would be, oh my god.
I'll have to like go back through and actually watch Overlord because I
You need
stopped
to.
after like
It's bothering me that you haven't.
4 or 5 episodes because
4 or 5.
I did not like it at all. I
Go
tried
watch,
so
go watch
much.
Jalen's thing on Overlord from the last year's anime year in review video, and then just start watching from there.
Okay.
And oh my god, I know I'm not. It's not even about me. It's just how Jalen talks about it is fantastic, and then hop into the Overlord because I'm telling you, I think you'd love it. I really think you'd love it.
I mean, I thought that like the idea of it was cool, which is why I even started it in the first place, and it just I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know, man.
I don't know. I'll give it another shot once I'm through some of the stuff I've got on my list right now. I just got High Dive, so I've got like a whole new list of things that I
Oh,
didn't have
watch
before.
watch teasing. Here, I got one for you. One for, like you can watch with the whole family called Teasing Master Takagi-san. Watch that.
You'll have to I will forget, so you'll have to send me the
Yeah,
name.
I'll send you in the chat. Teasing Master Takagi-san, I believe. Both the only problem in it is that the first season's on Crunchyroll, the second season's on Netflix, ironically, and the third season's on High Dive. Plus the movie is on High Dive as well. But
That's kind of weird.
yeah, I know. But it's one of those where I'm like, this is maybe if I had to rank all the anime I've watched, this may be like top 5. But I'm gonna make a video on it eventually. Oh my god, oh boy.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, I will see you later. Thank you so much for helping out, Alyssa.
All right, thank you.
All
See you, Luther.
See you. Yeah, that was weird. I left without even ending the stream. So thank you guys for watching. This was something interesting, something new. I'm gonna try to do a lot more of these, except with you guys this time. So take care of yourselves, and hope you enjoyed.